With fasting, is it always, let's not have a meal, or let's not have I know some people say we give up chocolate for Lent as an example, but what are the different kinds of fasting and then there's also abstinence, and what's the difference between fasting and abstinence?
Yeah. So we could just broadly define fasting as the penitential practice of limiting one's food and drink. Full stop. We make an analogy to like a media fast or to other types of fasting where we say no to something like social media or, my use of the computer or whatever it might be. But strictly speaking, fasting has to do with limiting the amount of food and drink you have, just because it is so essential to our life and to our well-being. So if we're being careful, fasting really touches upon food and water, or food and drink. But from that, we could just broadly put that as the genus. There's various species of fasting. So we have an ecclesiastical fast. That's specifically in reference to the type of fasting that every Catholic is expected to make from 18 to 59 in the Catholic Church on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. We're bound under pain of sin to fast on those 2 days, on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. And that means that we can only take one main meal of the day and 2 other smaller collations to subsidize that one main meal. And those 2 little meals can't add up to the bigger principal meal that we have. So that's one type of fast. You can talk about the monastic fast. And so all the ancient monks of old would only ever eat once sundown was. So we're very similar like that at the monastery, that we keep the monastic fast. We generally only eat at dinner when it's the main meal. You can have a black fast, which is simply just going on water alone. And there's plenty of confreres that do that. And maybe not to be salacious or anything like that, but there are individual confreres that have gone 40, 70 days on just water.
70 days on just water?
Yeah.
Why 70?
He was literally just trying to see how far he could go. But
how much weight he could lose, or was he okay after 70 days?
That's
fine. Far more than our Lord did.
Yeah, and you can read about a lot of the craziest exploits in the lives of the Desert Fathers.
Oh,
it's not.
And David Blaine.
And probably David
the
Blaine.
Magician.
See, that's the thing. Like you can do this with the power of the devil. There's no.
You can do it for entertainment.
You can do it for entertainment,
or for God.
You can do it for God. There's even secular people. I remember seeing a story of an NFL football player who lost over 100 pounds on a 40-day water fast, and motivated. He's probably was spiritually motivated, but. There's people outside the monastery that will do these sorts of things, but once again, the point of that is not for like the shock value or anything like that. There's a real spiritual benefit to doing that's undeniable, and so. But yeah, what that process looks like for a prolonged fast, like a prolonged black fast. By day 3, your body starts to go into ketosis. It starts to eat fat. So your body starts to tap into your fat reserves. And it will keep on eating that. When you start to starve to death, that's when you're like losing muscle and stuff like that. But you can also... but the other interesting fact about a black fast, especially prolonged one, the other cells that get eaten are cancer cells. So there's actually some research, coming out about how fasting can help with cancer or keeping you cancer free. So there's the body basically is feeding on itself, and you'd be surprised how long a human body can go on just the fat cells that it has. So. But that's a little bit more, like I was saying, salacious aspect of fasting. We want to, as Christians and Catholics, more often than not, shoot for a happy medium and be able to kind of hit the golden mean with something like that.